I feel like I need a spoiler warning here, but if you haven't seen Infinity War yet and you want to avoid spoilers and you clicked on this video, come on, man. What'd you think it was going to be about? Also, just go watch the movie. It's out on DVD, and if you can't buy it or borrow it from a friend, you can rent it for $6 on Amazon. Wait, a rental costs $6? Never mind, I can see why you haven't watched it. I've probably seen Infinity War more times than I've seen any other movie at this point. In fact, I'm watching it right now as I write this script, which seems weird now because I'm not writing a script, I'm talking in a video. I actually wrote that in the script too. I'm just reading the script word for word. Man, this is a weird script. But anyway, as you can probably tell, I love Infinity War, and one of my favorite things about it is all the different combinations of powers, and especially the combination of the powers of the Infinity Stones. But as I've been looking at the powers of the different Infinity Stones, it's got me thinking, why are all 6 stones even needed for the snap? Across the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there are 6 different Infinity Stones, and each one controls a fundamental part of our universe. Space, mind, reality, power, time, and soul. And together, along with the Infinity Gauntlet, with a snap, they can wipe out half of all the life in the universe. But why is that? The easiest answer is that with all 6 stones, you can just control everything in the universe. So obviously you would just be able to snap and wipe out half the life. But I really don't like that answer. I think that in order for the snap to work, the specific powers of each stone must be used. But what does each stone contribute? Starting off with an easy one, we have the Power Stone. The Power Stone grants its user the ability to manipulate energy. We see in Guardians of the Galaxy that the Power Stone can be used to wipe out all the life on a planet. In Infinity War, we see Thanos use the stone multiple times to do things such as destroy the Asgardian ship, or punch Tony really hard, or even in combination with the Space Stone throw a part of a moon. In addition to this, the Power Stone also amplifies the power of the other 5 stones. For the snap, I believe the Power Stone is what physically disintegrates the people. I can't help but notice the visual similarities in the way the people dissolve in Infinity War, and the way someone explodes when they hold the Power Stone in Guardians of the Galaxy.
I will no longer be your slave!
No!
They both have that same kind of flake away effect. I will no longer be your slave! Next up, the Space Stone has the power over space. Who would have thunk? With the Space Stone, one can open portals to anywhere they want to, they can perform telekinesis, or they can even draw power from space, as we see Red Skull do in the first Avenger. We see Loki use the stone to open a portal to Earth in the Avengers, and then in Infinity War we see Thanos use it a bunch. He uses it for telekinesis, portals, and, like I previously stated, throwing part of a moon. For the snap, I think it's pretty obvious that the Space Stone makes it so that Thanos can affect everywhere in the universe at once. Another fairly obvious one, I think, is the Reality Stone. The Reality Stone grants one the ability to warp or mess with reality. In Dark World, we see Malekith. Malekith is this guy, by the way. He's the villain in Dark World. That's why less than 2 of you recognize him. Anyways, we see Malekith trying to use the stone to bring all 9 realms into darkness. In that movie, we also see that the stone will protect itself.
My intern's intern.
This is private property and you're trespassing, a lot of you. You have to come with me.
But we don't ever see the true potential of the Reality Stone until Infinity War, where Thanos uses it to turn Drax into cube pieces and turn Mantis into like a slinky. He also uses it for a few other things like changing what the surrounding looks like and turning debris into bats. And for the snap, the Soul Stone is what removes people from existence.
With all 6 stones, I could simply snap my fingers. They would all cease to exist.
Boom! Half of you cease to exist. The Soul Stone is certainly one of the most important parts of the snap. The Soul Stone has the power to control souls. Man, I'm really trying to come up with better ways of saying things than just the stone has the power to do whatever the name of the stone is. The Soul Stone has power over souls. The Mind Stone has power over minds. The Time Stone has power over time. This is hard. We see Thanos use the Soul Stone to get rid of all of Strange's doubles, as well as visiting the Soul World at the end of the movie. And I believe that the Soul Stone grants him the power to see other souls and know who they are. You can watch the full video on that by clicking the card. But when it comes to the snap, there is a question I've seen a lot of people asking. What counts as a life? Here's a fun game. Find something important to you and then follow these steps. Does it have a soul? If no, hooray, it survived. If yes, flip a coin. If tells, once again, it survived. Hooray! If yes, say goodbye. Oh man. Oh. Oh. My. So yeah, the Soul Stone is what determines the eligibility of someone for the snap, as well as possibly chopping them the soul world, but for that one we won't really know until Avengers 4. Next up we have the Kidney Stone, and this one is where it starts to get kinda harder. The Kidney Stone grants its user the power over the kidneys and hearts of others, as well as elevating the kidney of its user. Oops, sorry, I mixed up mind and kidney. Can you imagine Thanos in Infinity War? I got the last stone. Oh, that was not the Mind Stone, that was a Kidney Stone. It's stuck. Dang it! Or, oh, Mr. Stark, I am so sorry I stabbed you in the kidney. Don't worry, I will fix you with the Kidney Stone. Next up, we have the Mind Stone, and this is where it starts to get a bit harder. The Mind Stone grants its user the power over the mind and hearts of others, as well as elevating their mind. We first see the stone used by Loki in the Avengers while it was in his scepter. The most obvious use of it is him mind-controlling Hawkeye and Eric Selvig. But with it, we also see him go a step beyond his normal illusion abilities and is able to make his armor appear, as well as changing the shape of the staff itself. Later, in Age of Ultron, we learn from Tony that the stone has thinking and processing abilities, and he uses it to create the artificial intelligence for Ultron. We also see Vision do a number of things with the stone, but I really have no idea how much of that was Vision and how much was actually the stone, so for the sake of ease, I'm just gonna disregard those. For the snap, there are a couple of things which I think the Mind Stone is used for. First, I believe that it elevates Thanos' mind so that, along with the Space Stone, he is able to affect the entire universe. And second, I believe the Mind Stone is what makes it random, who just poof. Now, for the hard one, the Time Stone. The Time Stone can affect time. Duh. With it, you can go forwards or backwards in time, or freeze time altogether. You can affect time on a single object and make it go forwards or backwards in time, and blah, 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 blah. You probably already know all this already, and you just want to know why it's needed for the snap. Thanos needs the Time Stone for the snap so that he can get the Mind Stone. Just kidding, the snap does actually need the Time Stone, but why? Well, one of the biggest things with the snap is that it wipes everyone who it affects out of existence, and that is done by the Reality Stone. But other times in the movie, when we see the Reality Stone used on humans, it's a little bit less than permanent. So the Time Stone makes it so that the people stay not existing forever. Well, until they're brought back in Avengers 4, but that's a whole nother can of worms. The Time Stone could also speed up the process, but if it does, that really didn't seem to help Peter much.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go, sir. Please. Please, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Sorry.
Hey guys, what do you think? Is this why each stone is needed for the snap, or do you prefer the boring answer of just being able to control anything? Be able to let me know down in the comments as well as up in the iCard. But of course, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I do really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, be sure to leave a like on the video and share it with all your friends. Also, it would be great if you would subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time I release another awesome video. And that's all I've got for you today, so I'll see you next time. Excuse me.